Welcome to the Easy Podcast, and this is From the Bin.
From the bin, baby.
I'm Zach, and
this is Eric.
And this week we're talking about Scorpion King.
Wait,
Book of Souls.
Book of Souls.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
let's be specific.
Yeah.
You're not getting the Dwayne Johnson Scorpion King.
No, you're not getting nothing. So, watch this.
You're gonna bleed and you're gonna die.
You were born a warrior. My people need a hero. I will fight by your side.
Give me your soul, Arcadian. I am one man, but one can stand against many. There won't be no mercy.
And give me your cheese whiz.
It's so bad.
My goodness.
So terrible. Oh my gosh. When I pulled this out of the bin, cut the shot of me pulling this out of the bin. I knew immediately this was going to be bad. Because one, the Scorpion King with The Rock is bad already.
And I never saw it.
It's not
And
good.
I do like Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Dwayne Johnson.
I mean,
I did not see
That was peak, like, not good Dwayne Johnson. Like,
Yeah,
where he was
yeah.
still The Rock, basically.
Yeah,
Where
which
he was still just a wrestler.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but he's still just the wrestler acting. And he wasn't.
Sure.
He didn't really find his charisma yet.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite there. But then the whole story arc in general is terrible, and special
Didn't
effects
see
are
it.
awful. Anyways.
Didn't see it.
The original Scorpion King is trash already.
Yeah.
This is the 5th installment.
Wait, fifth?
The
Are you kidding me?
5th movie.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's,
Well, I guess that was
it's Scorpion
2002.
King, Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Scorpion King 2. I don't know. Scorpion King 3. I don't remember. Scorpion King 4. I looked it up. I forgot. Scorpion King 5. Book of Souls.
Book of Shame.
Book of Shame. More like it. Yeah.
Okay, but let's movies that are in the bin typically are direct to DVD.
At least in the 374 bin.
Yes.
Which is what we pulled this from.
Yeah, you might find a smattering of on your streaming service,
Which by the way,
might be
just-
on
just
Amazon.
Look at this. Just look at this.
Like, wait, there,
Uh,
that.
It's a giant. Look, the graphic design
It's awful.
It's not the worst I've ever seen.
No, but it's not 2018.
18.
2018 is when that released.
know.
In October. So
Here's
you're
what's-
only talking a year. Like, hang on.
Okay, first of all, let me just say this up top. Spoilers for Scorpion King Book of Souls if you care.
Right. It's a year old. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No one saw it. Okay. Actually, I have some numbers here that I would love to bring up. The numbers for not box office, because it didn't have a box office, but
The numbers are $3.74,
Yeah,
which
because we're the
we
only-
just bought it.
you wish.
So they got-
You wish it was that, because I looked it up and it's actually, oh my gosh, what was the it made $1.1 million
Really?
in home sales.
Wow.
Now here's the thing is that's between DVD and Blu-ray, and it's almost split. It's like 600,000 DVD, 400,000 Blu-ray. The numbers aren't exact, but the thing that's weird is I don't know if that is units ordered or actual sales.
Oh, it wasn't specific in the.
It doesn't say, because I guess they don't keep like there's no box office mojo or whatever for DVD sales. So
Yeah.
it didn't give me the budget of the movie. I feel like this movie, it feels probably like a $5 to $8 million movie. Probably. I mean, would you say?
Yeah, as far as production quality.
Yeah, as far as budget,
Yeah, I would imagine.
maybe 10 at the high. At the high, it's not a 20 or 50 million.
No,
movie,
no.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
But so let's say it's an $8 million movie. It made $1.1 million.
Yeah, so it was a loss.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Who thought? That's my biggest question here. Is what is the audience for this movie at all?
Well,
Why-
I mean,
why
here's the
even make
thing
this movie at all?
is that and I don't know. Well, obviously, this is only a year old, so the studios are still doing this.
Right.
Now, and the question is why.
That's what
The
I'm saying.
question is why, because if it takes a loss,
yeah.
and most of the straight to DVD movies take a loss.
They have to.
Most of which are doing that because, like, there's this whole segment of, and that bin is full.
I know.
The bin is,
Right.
it's full now.
Let's talk about this though real quick, because I think there's a business thing here that a lot of people do bring it up, but it's the it's the red line, like it's movies stay in the red. And so certain people don't get paid for movies, the writers don't get paid for residuals or stuff like that, because the financial team of that production keeps that movie in the red by either continually producing DVDs to keep things like, so the budget is constantly going up. That way it never made its money back or something like that.
So on the contracts, they don't have to pay royalties.
So there's a thing with that.
But
I seriously doubt this movie had that kind of a contract. Like if somebody signed up for this movie with that contract, that's your own fault, because you're in the 5th installment of a straight to DVD franchise. That's like, what are you doing? But I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't necessarily like them purposefully keeping things in the red to not pay someone, but it's more of a write-off.
Right.
They're making this movie to write off a loss.
Right. Yeah.
So they put $10 million in it. Now they get to write off $8.9 million.
Right. So it's a tax grab, basically.
That's kind of what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because I cannot figure out who this audience would be. Because clearly there isn't one. $1.1 million. That's not very many people buying this. Or and that could be iTunes. Like, I don't know how they're really. They said it broke it down into Blu-ray and DVD. Maybe they didn't. Full disclosure, we watched this on Netflix.
Yes,
it was on Netflix, and
we did buy it.
We did buy the DVD.
We bought the DVD,
but I was like, I'm not gonna. If it's like easily accessible through my Apple TV, I'm just gonna watch it on my Apple TV.
Right. So if it's on Netflix,
then Netflix had to pay a certain amount for that royalty. I wish Netflix
I didn't have to pay the $3.74.
Right. I would love to know. I wish Netflix released their numbers, because I want to see this kind of stuff. Like, who's actually, like, what are the numbers of people watching this movie?
Well, apparently 74% of Google users said it was good.
You're right. This is actually a really good thing to bring up.
And IMDb IMDb, that's a professional industry resource,
right? But
4.6.
That's users
out of 10.
Yeah,
gave it a 4.6 out of 10. Now,
what do you think that audience is, though?
That's failing.
Right? Yeah, you're not graduating with those numbers.
Yeah, no.
But the type of people that are going to go in and actually review Scorpion King #5.
Yeah.
What type of a person is? Here we are creating an entire video on it. But
in Vudu, I've never heard of Vudu before.
I use Vudu all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think that's Walmart's
3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5?
3.5
not out of 10.
5. No, out of 5.
Oh my gosh.
That's a B+.
Wait,
Vudu's giving it a
how many
B+.
numbers? How many reviews does it say?
Let's see. Let me click on that.
Okay. Because if it's out of 4 reviews,
765.
Oh my gosh! Society, what's wrong with you?
Well, all the fans and families of all the actors.
You think there's 700 people that have a Vudu account, though?
Maybe they were like, "Hey, go sign up for a Vudu account."
That's weird. That raises more questions than answers.
It does.
I don't understand.
You're right.
Okay, let's talk about this movie.
Rotten Tomatoes score.
None.
Well, there isn't one.
Not that it's 0. They didn't even bother to review it at all. There is an audience score for it, though.
Audience score 71%.
I don't get it. I don't get it. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
71%.
I've seen terrible movies. Okay, I want to talk about the movie now.
Yeah.
Besides box office.
Okay, let me start with this. As I started watching, it took a long time to draw me in. And I tried to watch it without any, I knew going in, we pulled it from the bin. So I knew my expectations were low. Even with low expectations, it took a long time to draw me in. But it was a flashback to watching like Clash of the Titans.
Like old school
Like
Clash?
old school Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And with maybe a little bit better effects. Maybe a little bit better fight choreography.
Yeah.
But not much. Not for 2018.
No, you're not wrong.
And so I'm like, hang on. No.
Right.
I'm like, Clash of the Titans was released. I'm going to look that up while you chime in on that.
So Clash of the Titans is claymation, but
Right.
Okay. I'll differ with you on that. I'll give it the benefit of the production quality. It's better looking than Clash of the Titans.
Well, yes,
By
with the
lot.
creatures were awful in Clash of the Titans. But what I'm saying is it was like a flashback, gave me that same kind of feeling.
It felt like it was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yes. It felt like the quality of probably the original Scorpion King. So it opens with this awful narration from somebody, I don't know, a character you never meet.
In ancient Egypt, before the time of the pharaohs.
1981.
Oh gosh, wow. So 81 to 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, it opens up with this narration about the sword. The sword that Anubis made in hell or Hades or whatever they call it.
Lord of the underworld.
Right, yeah.
And then the big bad guy gets it, and then every shot of the big bad guy is the background is just this terrible purple CGI'd skyscape that is so poorly green screened that I mean I can't even imagine like how quickly they went through those shots to green screen them.
Yeah.
It gave me flashbacks of, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the old Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It looks just like that.
Yeah.
It looks straight out of that series.
Yep.
And
That was 1994.
like
4.
Yeah,
95.
Oh my gosh.
95.
Like those look bad. Product of the time.
Sure.
This is
technology
2018,
that
like-
was 30 years old.
Yeah. I was amazed at how bad the backdrops look. Okay. I love cinematography. I love color grading. I'm not the best at it, but I do have a passion for it.
You are pretty good.
Anyways,
So
moving on. Every time they cut to another angle while they're in the desert, the sky blue changes its tint.
Yeah.
And then the white sand goes it back and forth between a yellowy white and a white.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys clearly, this is either reshoots and somebody forgot the white balance, or this was in like just never color graded.
Yeah, just
as
thrown,
the day went
just thrown together.
Because I'm thinking it feels like maybe there might have been a few moments. The up top scene was probably color graded. A lot of this feels like it might have just been from in camera, like whatever the image they captured was what it looked like.
Yeah, and they probably again they didn't spend the time. I mean, they had it had potential. It had potential.
I don't know about that. I don't think this movie had any potential.
No, okay, fair enough.
No.
But I mean, as far as quality, and I say that with an asterisk, it could have been significantly better with a little bit more time spent on it and a little bit more budget.
I think what it really needed was it needed story beats and moments that
Yeah.
actually happened.
The arc was
what arc?
yeah,
The majority of the movie is spent showing traveling shots.
right.
It is literally, I mean, I'll have montage here. And it's just going to be like horse shot, horse shot. Anytime somebody goes from point A to point B, it's like 17 shots of them riding on a horse or running.
Right.
And the other problem that I had with it is they travel to like 4 different locations, but it never feels like they leave
Right.
the same place.
Right.
They at one point they go out on the boat or whatever, and
Yeah.
then they come to a different island that it's supposed to be.
And
it looks like
exactly
the same island they just left.
They just left the beach and turned around and came back.
Exactly. And I looked over to my wife and I was like, they just did a U-turn out in the ocean.
Well, and here's the thing. There's shots. I noticed this too, where there's shots of them riding to whatever the tomb was, and it's just the 3 of them. And then they cut to them like on the ridge, and then the guy, the clay monster guy,
the
golem guy is there.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't in
The portal clearly shut. The other group of bad guys came through,
Oh
right
yeah, but
by
this
it,
is like a couple scenes
I
later
know.
when they're
and he caught up to them somehow.
and then he's on the horse, and I'm like,
He punches a horse in the face.
yeah, I know.
He kills
Yeah.
a horse by punching it in the face.
I know.
Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
I hashtag canceled this guy. real quick.
2018. Yeah.
Oh, and he makes a fart joke.
Enkidu, no.
You filthy creature! Did you fart?
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
not good.
Yeah,
It's terribly
yeah.
written. It's terribly
yeah,
directed.
there's so many.
I haven't even gotten to the cinematography yet. It's so bad. Okay, the editing is terrible. The writing, the editing is clearly a product of the poor writing.
Yeah.
And the shooting, because
Well, it was an attitude of direct to DVD. It seems like they're like, oh, it's showing direct to DVD, and then let's take as many shortcuts as we possibly
but
can.
you think about it, there's still better ways to do things.
Yeah.
On that budget, if you had $8 million, you could have made this. You still could have made this a great movie. And then think about what your DVD sales would have been on $8 million.
Yeah, it could have been
look
could have
at
doubled
Joker.
it. Sure.
Okay, look at Joker. Joker had a budget, I think, like $40 or $50 million.
Yeah.
It's almost made $1 billion back.
Yeah.
Take that model and downscale it to DVD or streaming or iTunes, however you
Right.
want to sell that.
Right.
And say you spend $8 million on it, you want to make at least $60 million. Like
Yeah.
that's the equivalent.
Yeah.
Like what? Why would you not push this just as far as possible? I mean, I understand like this one in particular, the 5th installment
Okay.
of a franchise that's been dead for 20 years.
Right. Yeah. But again, I think you're right. I think it goes back to we want to be able to support the community of actors and, directors that are coming up or whatever. But, I looked up the producer and the director on this particular film, Mike Elliott and Don Michael
Something.
Paul or something. And
Yeah.
and they've partnered on a lot of these same type of releases. And
DVD
you look on their IMDb page, and it's
That's all they
like
do.
that's their niche. So they're being supported by the studio to do this type of film.
Yeah, somebody's.
and
This is a universal release.
yeah,
It's not like
Yeah.
It's not like a third tier like sister company of Universal.
okay. Here's my favorite part of the whole thing. Your text to me after we were supposed to start watching. He sends me this screenshot right here and says, "Hope you're watching this masterpiece." And then I respond, "LOL." And then he says, "I hope you're watching this and I didn't just waste 2 hours of my life."
Yeah.
and I sensed the fear of like
You
you
didn't see
getting
it.
punked.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally punking you, making
did.
you watch this
I
thing,
really did.
and I'm not gonna.
I expected to come here this morning and be like, "Oh man, no, I didn't get to see it," and me just being like, "You son of a."
I was so tempted. I was like, oh, I'm reading between the lines. And I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yeah. This movie's bad.
It is. It was, and I did painfully sit through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I want to talk about the cinematography now.
Oh, I thought we were moving on to unicorns and Skittles. Something,
No.
something happy.
No.
Oh man.
I want you to watch this montage of Dutch Angle Palooza.
Yeah.
Enjoy. This movie had no character, no interesting anything that they thought that they needed to put a Dutch angle to spice it up. And at one point, I slammed my hands into my head and looked at my wife and I went, "That camera is almost at 90 degrees." Yes, this movie is Dutch Angle the movie. Kenneth Branagh, his Thor has nothing on this movie. It's so absolutely asinine, the amount of Dutch angles in this movie.
Well, maybe the director just learned the Dutch angle idea.
Who's the cinematographer?
And right, the DP just learned the whole Dutch angle thing, and then is like, because when you learn something new and you get really excited about it, and then you overuse it.
He's German. Hein de Vos.
Okay, cool. But maybe he just, you know what I mean? If you ever, you just learn that new thing and you're super excited about it. Like,
you think he's a 12-year-old? There's zero chance this dude isn't like 45 in the industry and has known what I'm looking him up. I
don't want to throw shade on the guy and throw him under the bus.
That's all we're doing to this movie.
But I mean, maybe
throwing personal names into it makes it worse somehow.
No, but their names are on it.
Okay.
They got paid. They're happy.
No, yeah, he doesn't care. He's not going to see this. His resume includes Hooten and the Lady TV miniseries. Mm-hmm. Homeland. He was a camera operator. Oh wait, this is all camera operator. This doesn't count. Cinematography. Oh, wow. Critters Attack. It's a new movie that came out this year, apparently.
Mm-hmm. That's another bin grab.
Oh, no. Trimmers, A Cold Day in Hell.
That's for sure in the bin.
That's definitely in the bin. The Experimental Witch. Okay, maybe you're right. He didn't start doing cinematography till 2008.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe he is a little baby and he's never... No.
I'm not
Wait. He was the Best Boy Grip in 1999 for After the Rain. He definitely knows what a Dutch angle is.
All right. Well,
all right.
I mean, this is his first opportunity to really flex that skill.
This is it. I'm not going to blame the cinematographer.
Yeah.
This is a movie directed and chosen. Everything's chosen by some line producer.
Yeah.
That says, okay, we have to do this and this.
Yeah.
And you know what? We know the Netflix audience, they love a weird angle. So do this. And that's all it is. It's like every sixth shot is a Dutch angle. That's not even probably an exaggeration. Like it's so bad and boring and bland.
In between the landscape travel shots.
Which there's some pretty nice like aerial shots in it, I guess. If I had to be like a positive thing about it, they do a really good job. Like whoever the operator was for the helicopter or drone does a very good job of following and has some nice swooping shots throughout. But
I don't imagine there was a helicopter on it.
It was probably a drone.
Yeah, it looks drone to me.
Yeah, that's my only positive probably for the cinematography. I think for the most part, it feels very much TV movie, uninteresting, very flat. Not a lot of character to it at all. The color grade is bland and boring, and actually just straight up all over the place. Inconsistencies of continuity for color.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Like, if this is the first episode from the bin, and we're starting. I'm just looking at the back here. It looks so. This.
So I'm thinking.
This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen in the movie.
Wait, let me see.
Okay, so it's a shot of the golem, which is the clay guy,
right,
fighting Anubis with the sword. That doesn't happen in the movie at all.
No.
That Anubis shot is from the epilogue or the prologue.
The prologue, yeah.
And that Clay shot is from the very. By the way, the Clay guy, he punches a horse and he kills it.
Enkidu, no!
And then
Did he really kill it though?
Yes,
or did
it's
he just,
laying on the ground.
He just knocked him out. I didn't.
They weren't riding a brown horse when they left. So either they left that horse there to die, or he killed it. Like either way, it's dead and it's his fault, and he killed it. And hashtag cancel Gollum, because I think this is a terrible movie.
Yeah, there's some really bad,
He-
tasteless stuff. That
He walks up to a camel and he goes, "Oh my gosh, did you fart?" And it's his makeup and stuff looks ridiculous, and he's got he has like grills, like in his teeth, like charcoal grills the whole
Yeah.
time. I'm just like, I'm sure somebody worked really hard on it. Okay, I have one positive about the whole thing.
Okay.
I actually do think that for as little as there is, the set decoration and like set design looks really good.
Yeah.
And I really there's parts of it that I thought that was really well designed. And the only problem is like every single set, nothing feels lived in, nothing feels bigger than it really it feels only as small as the shot that as that
Right,
wide
yeah.
master shot that you see, which it probably is.
Yeah.
And that's my issue with like things like this is they don't kind of think of world building.
Right.
They want this to be an adventure movie, but they don't have the budget to go to 7 different actual locations
Right.
for an adventure film.
Right. You got to film the whole thing in Death Valley.
That had to have been like where it was. I don't know, maybe someplace in
Well, some of the white sand stuff, I was trying to think through. I'm like, yeah, maybe New Mexico,
maybe,
but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's like white dunes. So I mean, I guess there is a possibility that they just there's not.
I mean,
a color
there's
greatest on this. I don't know.
there's spots in California too out,
Yeah,
but
it just screams the same location for every location, and there Eric is. That's now the thumbnail for the video. Mm-hmm. This movie's pretty terrible, huh?
well, it was $3.74.
But it didn't cost that much to make. So, yeah, probably should have.
I just keep going through my mind like who rolls up on the dollar bin and goes, "Ooh, this one."
Yeah. I mean, we did it ironically.
Yeah, I mean blindly. We dug in
Very blindly.
So these are blind picks, just so everybody knows.
Yeah,
it's not
I
like
can't-
we picked. We're like, oh yeah, this is bad. Let's do this.
We did a few picks at once, and one of them, I'm depressed that we picked. It'll probably be like the 3rd episode that we do.
He wasn't depressed about this one. That's
No,
the funny
this
part.
one, because I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be bad. The one that I'm depressed about has a runtime of 240 minutes.
Oh yeah. Now, the goal. I mean, we're gonna have the segments, the dollar bin or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's probably gonna be a lot of this kind of stuff.
There will be.
Now, the goal is not. Well, maybe it is.
A little bit of the
thinking
goal.
the goal-
A little bit of the goal is to just bash them.
It's throwing shade, but
But you're right. I think we need.
I really want my goal personally is
Yeah.
I really want to reach into the
this is a
bin
different goal than I have.
and pull out something
That's
that we
a
haven't
gem.
that we haven't nobody's heard of or
Yeah.
we haven't seen.
We'll have an alarm bell go off when
it's
that finally
And
happens.
it's like the whole thing's like
It's not going to
whoop,
happen.
whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
right.
This is an amazing
That'd be
film.
like winning the jackpot.
Yes,
It's
yeah. It's like the lottery.
I'm pessimistic that it'll ever happen, but here we are. Here's the thing.
In a sea of movies
Yeah.
direct to DVD, there is a gem in there somewhere.
Yeah, I do think that us bashing it's fun. It's great for YouTube.
Yeah,
But there's a point here that I want to bring home is that, and let's we keep speculating. Let's just say this movie had a budget of $8 million. I think the one thing that I would like to maybe bring a positive spin on this is, let's say this movie had an $8 million budget. How do you get the most out of an $8 million budget? I've seen very small movies that are very character driven, very uniquely shot, unique locations that were very cheap. I think that it's incredibly possible in today's day and age to do an $8 million adventure movie and it still be good.
Right.
I think the problem that this movie has is that it tried to be a lot of style over substance, and unfortunately that style was terrible.
Right.
But I think you could take a lot of learning from watching this movie.
Yep.
I'm not recommending you go watch it. It's gonna
we took care of that for you.
It's gonna screw up your Netflix suggestions.
Right.
But
I need to go delete that.
there is a lot in this that I think you could be like, okay, why doesn't that work? Or how could I have made that work with what I have? So you take that $8 million budget, and instead of doing these crazy elaborate unnecessary CG moments or this giant rock golem monster like this movie had that actually serves zero purpose whatsoever to the end story, take that money and focus on the absolute cheapest aspect of it, which is the storytelling, which is the story writing, the script writing. That costs nothing compared to everything else. Take that character development. Take 20 minutes of the movie to actually develop your character, as opposed to introducing your character up top and then within 2 minutes a little boy that he just met and the audience as well just met dies, and that's his whole motivation for the whole movie. You have no connection to that character.
No.
You have no connection to his struggle that our protagonist is going through. And instead of that, have the first 20 minutes of this movie him with that kid playing around, doing a bunch of things, building those character arcs, understanding kind of the history of them, why they know each other, what that kid might mean to him because maybe he lost a kid, something like that. I'm not saying that I should have went into this movie expecting that, but I'm telling you what you could do yourself to make a better film.
Absolutely. You totally hit the nail right on the head. The biggest problem with this film is there's no character development. None. You don't connect with the main actor. You don't connect with the story. You don't connect with the kid. There isn't enough time spent really building that emotional tie. And it doesn't take, like you said, it doesn't take elaborate sets, but what it does take is it takes time. Spend the time in developing that, because I was like, you feel like this, you get it, you understand, like he wants revenge because of the kid thing, but even the payoff on that was like, I threw a knife across this battle scene and I hit you in the back and it was good. No, dude, that's not like you totally shortchanged your payoff. But the biggest fail in this is the lack of emotional investment from the audience.
There is none.
And that's why it went right into the bin.
There's zero story. There's a bunch of who cares characters. None of it makes any sense. There's like 2 or 3 eye candy moments that are like clearly just there to try and sell the movie, except for you wouldn't know they're in the movie unless you saw the movie. It's not like there's anything to this. There's no big name actor. There's nothing. There's nothing to draw people to this movie besides you randomly picking it out of a $3.74 bin, which we did. But I think there are things to learn from movies like this.
There is.
Watching these movies, you can see what not to do in a lot of ways. And I've seen Star Wars fanfic movies better than this, and they had no budget, like zero. They just doing After Effects in their mom's basement.
So, and that's really the value to the audience that's listening to the podcast or watching from the bin, is not the shade throwing, though we enjoy doing that.
It is fun.
It is really taking the opportunity to go, okay, why isn't it working? What are the things that aren't working, and how can we learn from that, so that as we go out, or as you are pursuing your filmmaking, that you can say, this is what I don't want to do. And, I can take these lessons from somebody else's mistake and make something better.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Great. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
You're gonna bleed and you're gonna die. There won't be no mercy.